Somebody tell me please that the audio is working. In the meantime, I'm gonna scoot back and we'll talk about it's back? Yeah. This YouTube bad. Always giving me issues. Okay. Now that we have turned it off and turned it back on again, let's continue with our hamstring stretch. What we're gonna do is, Benji, you're gonna move. You're gonna just stand there in front of the door with your tail wagging. All right, fine. Okay. We'll scoot me over and accommodate you. All right. We got a little bit of cushioning, a little bit of padding to protect your knees. All right, because we're gonna spend a lot of time on our knee to do this hamstring stretch. The reason why we do it this way is because we're going to put our hands down on either side of our leg to help support ourselves, to give ourselves a little bit more, balance, sort of. Our hands are there, that's why there's balance. Because you don't need any more balance, it's your hands doing the work. Okay, anyways, so, when you have your cushioning, when you have something to pad your knee, we're going to be ready to begin. Take another second. Hopefully you've been prepared for a long time and just going, Ken, you ready to begin? Alright, let's go. I want you to kneel up nice and tall and straight. Extend your leg out in front while maintaining this nice and straight posture, and I want you to fold forward. Whee! Ugh. As soon as your hamstrings are telling you, no, what are you doing? This is crazy! It's time for you to pause and breathe. I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and relax. Let your body flop into the floor. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do it a third time. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. That's 3 times. Woo! From here, we're going to add 2 more actually, because yesterday the feedback on this was good. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 4. Let's do it again. Inhale. This is the last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Feel those hamstrings. Feel that relaxation in the spine. And let's bring the knee up into a lunge. We're moving on into some movement in this position. Next, we're going to try and fold our chest down towards that thigh. We're going to stick our hands down on either side for balance, and we're going to slowly straighten out that leg, scoop our butt back so we get back into that hamstring stretch. Woo! Feel that hamstring stretch, and let's do it again. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Again, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 4. Last one, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. Benji is giving me some stink eye and wants to leave, so just give me a second while I open this door and let him back out. Go find other people you like better. He has his butt facing my face, and then he's just looking at me over his shoulder, going, I don't know if he has any ill intentions with that kind of look, but in my head I interpret it as, go open the door now? Alright, let's continue. We're going to fold a little bit deeper into our stretch. What I want you to do is take a big breath into your lungs. Slowly exhale that air out. And while you're exhaling, this is different than before, we're bringing the belly button on purpose down into the ground. We're actively trying to fold a little deeper into our stretch. Alright? Let's do it. Inhale, exhale, and fold at the same time. Ready? Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale, fold. Bring the belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Woo! When your hamstrings are feeling crazy, inhale. Relax. Let your body flop into that leg. If you're feeling a lot of pressure on your knees, you can always give it a very slight bend to take a little bit of pressure off your knees. Alright? Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into the floor. That's 2. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Whew. From here, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 1. Let's go again. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Another one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. We're going to switch the numbers on these We're just going to do 3 this time and see how that feels. It's time for us to fold a little bit deeper now. You ready? Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. You know the drill. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Belly button down. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. I have a feeling we might not be doing nearly as many of these knee up things in the future because I got just as deep with way less. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Again, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Last one, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. That's it for this leg. Y'all ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28. Keep breathing. Try your best to just chill and flop and let gravity do the work. 23, 22, 21. I said this earlier. If your knees are feeling a little too much pressure, it's a little uncomfortable, you can give it a slight bend and focus on bringing your chest down to that leg. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Wow, that was our hamstring stretch. That was kind of good. Let me know in the chat if, despite all the starting and stopping, if you felt like doing the extra couple of breaths, 2 extra breaths, helped you get a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit faster than we usually do, right? I felt like after the first round of 5 breaths and just relaxing, I was already as deep as I would normally be on the second round of 3 breaths. So it felt really good. Alright, let me know if that's true for you, because then we'll make it a regular thing. Alright, switching to the other leg. Kneel up nice and tall and straight. And extend that leg out in front. Oh, I'm still sore though. The leg that didn't get stretched is still stiff and tight. We're getting ready to fold. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whee! Oh, as soon as your hamstrings tell you no, pause and breathe. Inhale. Exhale, relax. And sink a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into the floor. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Let's slow it down just a little bit and not hyperventilate. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Let's go. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten out that leg. Woo, feeling the hamstrings. Let's do another. Inhale. Chest down. Straighten out that leg. I think I said inhale, chest down. I meant knee up. Chest down. Straighten out that leg. That's 3. On this first run, I feel like I do want the 5. Let's go. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. Feel it in your hamstrings. Let's do it again. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 5. Okay. Let's get ready to fold. You all ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. Let's do it. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale, fold. Bring your belly button down with your own muscle power. Let's go. Fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Woo. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Whew. This feels like I'm going deeper, but I can't tell if it's because my knee is bent or not. Anyways. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up. Chest down, straighten it out. Feel that hamstring stretch. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3, and we're going to breathe and fold a little deeper. Y'all ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. Let's do it. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Belly button down. Your hamstrings are feeling crazy. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that stretch again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into that stretch. That's 4. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 5. Is that it? Are we done? Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3. I feel like I'm folding really deep. I'm pretty sure we did all of our breathing, so let's hang out for 30 seconds and call it 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. This is probably a good time to remind you that I have been doing some version of this show, some version of this stretch for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days in a row, because this live is all about building consistency. And I'm very, 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 very into proving that I can stay consistent to myself and to you guys. And if your version of this stretch does not look like mine, that is okay. Especially if it's your like day 5, you should not be comparing it with my day 650 or something like that. All right, yes, I'm pretty close to 650. I might be past 650. And at this point, I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to 0 seconds left. So let's come on out of it. Oh, that is our hamstring stretch. Whew! If your legs are tired and you're like, man, we spent so much time on the hamstrings, I hope the other 4 stretches aren't nearly as bad as this. That's true. They aren't. They get a little easier for a little bit. All right? We're going to move on into our second stretch. We're going to move on into a butterfly stretch. We're going to move on into something that might be called the tailor's pose wherever you're from. And it looks like this. What I want you to do is bring your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall. I want you to bring your feet together, and I want you to pull it in towards your groin, towards your inner thighs, so that you look like this. Butterfly position. Next, the goal of this stretch is to get your inner thighs right here stretched out. The way we do that is by bringing the knees down into the ground. So I want you to use your glute muscles, I want you to use your outer thigh muscles to try and pull your knees down using your own muscle power. We use our own muscle power to do this because it helps you get stronger and more mobile at the same time, and I always want you to be stronger. It almost never hurts to be stronger. Until you get to like Superman, you can't hug people without being super careful. But most people, we're not going to get that strong, right? Superman is a comic book character. Anyways, open up those legs, bring the knees down with your own muscle power, and now we're going to apply a little bit of strength with our hands. Push down just inside of the knee and see if you can push straight down. When you do this, you might feel a bunch of pressure in the back of your head, in your shoulders from pushing into the wall. That is normal, that's okay. We're going to breathe 6 really big breaths in and out. Nice and slow. On the exhale, I want you to push your legs down into the ground a little bit harder. That's it, 6 breaths. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale, push your legs down. That's 1. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 3. Inhale. Exhale and push. That's 4. Number 5. Inhale. Exhale and push. Keep that pressure steady. If you can't go any further, if it feels too intense, just hold it steady and steady. All right? Inhale. Exhale and push. That is our butterfly stretch. Let your legs relax. Let your arms come off. If your wrists are really tired from applying all that pressure, give them a little gentle shake, a little gentle wiggle. Flap the wings of your legs to get these things moving and the blood flowing again. And we're ready for our next stretch. We're moving on to our third stretch. See, the second one was much faster than our hamstring stretch, right? All right. For stretch number 3, we're moving on into some standing pancake. It's been a couple of days since I talked about the seated pancake, so I'm going to bring that up for a second too. What we're going to do is, for the majority of us, we're going to open up our legs just a little bit, and we're going to focus on bringing our belly button down towards the ground. As soon as you kind of get stuck, your hamstrings say, nope, that is our starting position. What we want to do, ultimately, is to bring our whole entire body down in between our legs. It's going to be crazy, it's going to be hard, and that is why we do it standing, because when you're like this, gravity is pulling all of this, all of your upper body down into the ground and helping you as much as possible. To make gravity work a little harder for you, you can extend your arms out in front of you, and that will make it feel crazier, even though your body weight didn't change. This is called leverage. If you want to, you can hold something in your hands, like a small dumbbell, maybe 2, 3, 5 pounds. It's going to be a ton. So, don't go too crazy with like a 40-pound dumbbell. It's probably, for like 99% of people, not going to work out for you. Okay? Now, the reason why I have a seated version is, for some of you, bending forward might not be super good. Maybe your balance upside down is not so good. Whatever the situation is, you can do a version of this seated. Alright? What we just did was extend our legs a little wider and fold forward. You can do the same thing from a seated position. If you're less flexible, use a higher seat. If you're less flexible, use a taller seat, higher seat. If you're more flexible, use a lower seat. If you're worried that this stool or whatever you're sitting on is going to slide and cause some issues and cause you to get scared because it's sliding around, put your chair up against the wall and use that for some stability. Alright? Those are our tips for doing it a couple of different ways. But now, let's get back into standing pancake. You can open your legs as wide as you want for this. If you're brand new to this, start less wide, be a little less ambitious, build up a couple of days, and then slowly go a little bit wider. Otherwise, that's all I got. Get into position, open those legs a little wider, fold forward, bring your belly button down. Maybe consider sticking your butt back behind you just a little bit. It tends to pull your head up towards the air without changing the angle of your stretch. And we're ready to go. Extend your arms if you're ready. 30 seconds. Breathe, inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Your version of the stretch might look more like this. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Put your hands down. Bring your feet in. Slowly wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, your heels in, your toes in, your heels in, until your legs are underneath you. Walk your hands up your leg, and that should get you back into something that looks like standing. You might be waddling around a little bit because you're like, oh, but you're more or less standing. All right? Whew. That's our third stretch. Fast, right? We're going to move on to stretch number 4. Yesterday, we did pigeon for the second time in a row. And that means I think today I have to do the figure 4. So let's get ready to do the figure 4. Fundamentally, both of them look like this. I'm going to demonstrate what the leg is doing and what our body is doing, and then we're going to do it slightly differently. So don't get confused. But it's going to look like this. We're taking one leg, we're going to cross it over to the other side. We're grabbing that leg, we're going to bring it towards our chest. Alright? So that you feel a stretch here in the side of your hip. This is a glute muscle. You're going to feel it here in your hamstrings. But when your legs are rotated like this, it's going to sort of be like this part of your leg. Alright, still your hamstrings, just the leg is twisted. And you might feel a little pressure right here in the front of your hip because you're actively trying to fold right here. Let's take that position and bring it to the ground. Ugh. Oh, lay down. Ugh. Oh, look, the ladybug moved all the way over there. Alright, keeping track of it because I got to capture it later. Alright, it's like a Pokemon. Now, once you're down on the ground, cross one leg over to the other side, make this nice triangle. With this triangle, we're going to stick one hand through it, one hand around the outside leg that is not crossed. We're going to reach our hands around that knee, and we're going to start pulling that knee in towards our chest. I want you to inhale, exhale, and pull that knee in. Lean back. Again, inhale, exhale, and pull. Bring that leg towards your chest. Inhale, exhale, and pull. That's 3 times. We're going to hold on to this position. We're going to keep on trying to pull the leg in towards our chest for the next 30 seconds. Y'all ready? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. If this knee right here is feeling a little bit of pressure, is feeling a little bit weird, you can cup the knee, or you can stick it in your elbow pit and pull on it directly. That will give it some more support. Should make it feel a little nicer. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch, at least on one side. Let's do the other leg and crossing it over, pushing this knee away from you for a second, hand through the triangle, other hand around the outside leg, and pull it in. Inhale, exhale and pull. Ooh, feel that stretch build in your glutes. Inhale, exhale and pull. That's 2. Again, inhale, exhale and pull. That is 3 times. Feel the stretch building in your butt. And let's go. 30, 29, 28, just like before. Cup the knee for a little support if you need it. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. My right leg is less flexible than my left leg, and so this stretch is way crazier on my right side than on my left side. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Lean back, drop your legs, chill, breathe, relax. That's our 4th stretch. Alright, that's enough chilling. If you somehow don't know, this is a side splits and hip mobility show. Everything we've done so far is hip mobility. When you get really good at hip mobility and you get real flexible, starts looking like you're doing splits. So that's all side splits are. Side splits are just advanced hip mobility. What that means for you guys is this whole time we've been stretching, we've been moving, we've been working on muscles, we've been building up to this next and this final set of stretches. We're doing some side splits. If you've never done a side split before, do not worry. I'm going to break it down into lots of little pieces, and we got lots of ways to make it a little easier on your body. So stick around, and we'll get into it in just a second. If you haven't yet, hit follow and hit subscribe, please. And keep on coming back, because we do this show every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we put ourselves through a little easier to stay consistent with, so that we can make some progress together. Alright? And we do this show every day at 9 p.m. If you don't know what 9 p.m. means, we started 44 minutes ago, and that's when we start every single day. Pretty much, almost no matter what. Cool? Alright. First thing I want you to do is go grab a little hand support. I have a stool for hand support. The purpose of the hand support is to do this. Put your hands on something so that your legs can go wide and your upper body is holding on to some of the pressure. So your legs aren't suffering all of the pressure all by themselves. Alright? So, what that means is, for you at home, your hand support can be any number of things. In general, I recommend that it be strong enough to support your body weight, and it be light enough that you can kind of move it out of the way, lift it, adjust it whenever you want to. If you don't have a small stool, a coffee table, an ottoman, that might work. If you have perhaps a larger stool, that might also work. This one is clearly in a state of damage. I've had this one for a really long time, and it's working just fine. So, it doesn't have to be a perfect tool. As long as it can support your weight, it's fine. If you don't have any of those things, and you want to use a kitchen chair, that will also work. Kitchen chair might be a little bit taller, so you might want to try putting your forearms down on it instead of your hands. Alright? That's the only difference. Now that you have, hopefully, your hand support, let's get ready to bring our butts to the wall. And that's the other thing that you need. You need a wall, and you need about, 6 feet of space where you don't have anything you're going to kick. Cool? We're going to put our butts up against the wall and our hand support right in front of us, and we're going to open up our legs just a little bit. From here, we're going to get ready to fold and bring our hands onto the hand support. So, let's get ready to fold. Whee! Hands on your hand support. your butt is resting against the wall, your hands are on your hand support. It's very specific and is for one main purpose. You can't fall forward and you can't fall backwards. So all you can do is slide and slot your butt down into the ground between your hand support and between the wall. Alright? That is what we're doing. So, let your legs go a little bit wider. Let your butt slide down the wall. Use your hands to push yourself back so you don't lean forward too much, and we're ready to rotate our legs. This next step is to get our thigh bones to rotate out of the way so they don't smash into your hip bones and cause you to hurt. What that looks like is we're going to rotate our leg backwards 90 degrees so our heels are down, our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, and our inner thighs are pointing forwards. We're going to do that on both sides. I recommend you do this with your hands on your hand support because that will take some pressure off of your heels. If you've never done this before, your heels are going to be experiencing a lot of pressure right about now. Alright, from here, see if you can let your butt slide down the wall, let your legs go a little bit wider, and adjust your hand support so that you stay nice and strong, close to the wall. You feel like you're stable, you feel good, you don't feel like you're about to slip, you don't feel like you're about to fall. The reason why we care about this is because if your body thinks you're about to slip, a whole bunch of muscles in your legs are going to tense up to try and keep you from flopping and falling, right? That tension is not what we want. We want the opposite. We want to relax so that we can get into a deeper stretch. So, use the hand support, use the wall, find this position where you can almost chill, and we're going to breathe. You ready? Let's go. Inhale. Hold that breath for a second, maybe another second, and slowly exhale and relax. See if you can let the air out of your chest, out of your lungs, and get a little drop, a little bit deeper into your stretch. That's one. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. So you can sink a little deeper. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. When you are a little lower, your version does not have to look like mine. Again, I've been doing this a long time. If you look like this, or even this, and you're just doing your bestest to get a little lower into your stretch, that is absolutely perfect. Alright? Make sure your butt is against the wall, your hands are against the wall, and you are feeling comfortable-ish. As comfortable as being in this type of position could possibly have you be. Alright? We're ready for side split number 1. Right now our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up. We're going to hang on here for 30 more seconds. Try to let your butt go as low to the ground as you can. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. Walk your hands forward. Move your hand support out of the way. Come on out of that stretch. Slowly bring your legs in underneath you. Grunt, groan. Make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our first side split. I try to explain a little extra on that first go around so that you know what's happening. Hopefully, I'm going to talk a lot faster on round number 2 and you'll know everything already and just jump into it because that's really intense side split number 1. Alright. Come back up into standing. Grunt, groan. Make as many sound effects as you need to. I can't hear you so it doesn't bother me. Alright? We're going to shake out our legs. What I want you to do is hold on to the wall for balance if you need it, but otherwise, focus on looking at your ankle, flop around, shake, wiggle, relax. The reason why we do this is because when you can visually see that your legs are flopping around like they're made of overcooked spaghetti, your muscles are probably relaxed. And that's what we want. Other leg, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more, shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more, shake and wiggle and flop. And let your legs relax for a second. Take a couple of steps. Do a couple of little slidey dance moves. Make sure your legs are working okay. Take a couple of steps. Boom, 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 boom. And we're going to move on into our hips. I want you to put all of your weight into one leg. So you're balancing on all of your weight on one leg. Alright? On the other leg, I want you to just put your ball of the foot or even the big toe down on the ground. Just nice and gentle. There's almost no weight. You can lift it up anytime. Alright? I want you to flex your glute muscles. I want you to go boom! Point this knee directly to the side. Alright? Then, I want you to flex your inner thigh muscles. I want you to contract them to bring your knee, have your whole entire leg rotate so that your knees are touching. And then open. And then close, and then open, and then close, and then open, and then close. If you're brand new to the show, take your time with it. Build some strength, build some control. Really work on opening it up and bringing your knee in. If you've been doing this for a while, you're able to do it real cool, real comfy, real fine. We can turn to a dance move. Make this about relaxation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Shake out your leg. Do the other side. All of your weight is on one leg, big toe, or the ball of your foot is down on the other. Knee in. Knee out, knee in, knee out, knee in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Alright, hopefully your hips are a little looser. Hopefully your legs are in general a lot looser. You're able to move fine. A lot of that tension from the side split has gone away because we're getting into side split number 2. Let's go. Take your hand support. Bring it with your butt to the wall. Butt up against the wall, open up those legs. Let's fold hands on your hand support. Let the legs go a little bit wider. Rotate the legs so that the heel is down, the toes are up, the knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up on both sides. Scoot your hand support back. Oh, this chair is also cracking. I should probably be more gentle with my things. Okay, let your butt slide down the wall as you slowly drop down into the ground. Find a comfortable spot where you feel like you're not slipping, you're not falling, you're not tipping over. You can almost relax. And let's breathe. Inhale. Hold that breath. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. If you sink real deep into your stretch and you go, whoa, that was crazy, sometimes you might sink a little too far. You might sink into a position where you no longer have control, where you're suddenly like, uh-oh, I'm too far, I'm about to slip. Take your time, adjust, catch your breath, and let's go and breathe. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. So you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 2. Let's do it again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. That's 3. Once you are as deep as you can go for the moment, I want you to try to add a little wiggle with your heels. Push your right heel out. Push your left heel out. Push your right heel out. Push your left heel out. If it's not going anywhere, don't worry about it. But if it is going somewhere, great. We're going to move on into side split number 2. This time, instead of doing it with your toes pointing up, your knees pointing up, and your head pointing up, we're going to lean forward a little bit. And this way, you're going to feel the stretch more in your inner thighs. Right now, your knees and your toes should be pointing at a diagonal in front of you, like 45-ish degrees, and that will help you emphasize the inner thigh. Your hand support can still be used, so experiment with that and see which one feels a little bit more intense. Go with that one. Alright, 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. If you're not feeling much pressure in your inner thigh, you can always bend your elbows and lean forward a little bit. Actually, no, you're scooting your butt back a little bit. When you do that, you should feel more of your body weight being in your legs instead of your arms. When you use your arms to support, they take off more of the burden. When you use less of your arms to support, your legs take on the burden, and now your legs should feel like crazy. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our second side split. Move your hand support out of the way. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Oh, bring your knees in underneath you. That is our second side split. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. And that is the second side split. Take a second, catch your breath. Give your thighs a light shake, a light slap. And when you're ready, come back up into standing. Let's shake out our tension. Oh. Whew. Let's go. Shakety shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flap, 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 flap. Shake some more, wiggle some more, flap some more, shake some more, wiggle some more, flap some more. In. Loose. That's the goal. Shake out the other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flap, 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 flap. And take a couple steps. Make sure your legs are working okay. Take a couple more steps. Everything looks good. Then let's shake out our hips. All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down. And knee in. And out. And in and out. And in and out. And in. And out. And in and out. And in and out. Whew. That's like 6 times or something. That's enough. Let's go. Other side. All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down. In. And out. And in and out. And in and out. Other way. Or not other way. Again. In. And out, and in, and out, and in, and out. Whew. Shake out your legs. Give me that wiggle, flop, relaxation. Do some hip circles, whatever you need to, because we're going to get back into side split number 3. Let's go. Hand support. Take it with you to the wall, butt up against the wall. Let the legs go just a little bit wider, and let's get ready to fold. Whee! Hands on your hand support. Legs going wide. Rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. The inner thighs are pointing forward. Let your butt slide down the wall. Adjust your hand support so that you're making sure your legs are going directly to either side as much as possible. And you're pinching yourself in between your hand support and the wall. So you can't fall forward, you can't fall backwards, you're supported. Alright? Let's get ready to breathe. Inhale. Hold that breath. Exhale, relax. So you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Whew, that's 2. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. I sank a little too deep. I sat down. But I'll fix this. Hopefully you didn't fall. Just me. We are deep into our final stretch now. Add that optional wiggle to either side, so you get your right heel out a little bit further, left heel, right heel, left heel, and when you are ready, it's time for side split number 3. We got options. You can focus on side split number 1, where the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. It's going to feel more in your hamstrings, and it's important, but it's not as important as side split number 2, where we're going to lean forward just a little bit, and we're going to feel it more in the inner thighs. I'm going to do a variation of number 2 today. I think I'm going to do 30 seconds. You ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm going to go for a couple more seconds. 9, 8, 7. That does not mean you have to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Alright, that's it. Crawl. Move your hands forward. Give your legs some space. Bring your legs in underneath you. Take your time with it. Go as slow as you need to. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our third side split. I need to crawl on over to the phone that TikTok Live is on. Because it thinks I'm a bot. Because I don't interact with the phone very often during this live. And I need to go solve some puzzles to confirm that I'm not a bot. Except I fail this puzzle every other time. And it makes me feel real scared. It's going to be like, you're a bot, you keep failing. And it never turns out that way, but I do get anxious. Anyways, that was our final side split. Let's shake out our legs, let's do some joint checks, and let's wrap up for today. First thing we're going to do is back to the ankle shake. Shakety shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. And whew, relax those leg muscles. Do the other one. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Relax those leg muscles. A couple seconds on each leg is probably enough, especially because you're not necessarily going into more crazy stretches after this. If you are, maybe you want to shake a little bit longer. Alright? Next, we're going to move on into our hips. All your weight is on one leg, big toe is down. Remember, we flex the glutes to help open up the knee out and point it out to the side. We flex the inner thigh, inside hip area to bring knee in. And out and in and out and in and out and in. And out and in and in and out and in and out and in and out. It sounds way better when I say in and out, even though the words are the exact same. When I say out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in, it sounds just so crazy. All right, next leg. All your weight is on one leg. Big toe is down and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out and out and in and out. Yeah, no, I can't do it. All right. In and out and in and out and in and out. All right, shake out your legs. Give it a little bit more relaxation. We're pretty much done with the relaxation stuff. We're going to do some joint checks. We're going to make sure that all your joints are working fine. We're going to start with hip circles. I want you to pop your hip out. Boom. I want you to slowly lean back, stick your butt back behind you, and swivel all the way around. Feel that pressure on the outside of your hips. Oh, push your hips forward. Feel the stretch here in the front of your hips. Come on around. Woo. Look at that butt all the way around and come back. Oh, jeez. That is crazy. Because I'm also very sore from all sorts of activities. I took a shower and now you can see all the scrapes on my legs. Maybe you can't because you're too far away. But I got lots of little tiny bloody scrapes from what I must assume is just gravel. And I also have bruises on my hips from sliding into home base and first base, and from wiffle ball, and from kickball. Because we're competitive. We're playing to win, alright? You can't be getting tagged out because I didn't run or slide far enough or fast enough. And so my body is now covered in scrapes and scratches. And I don't know how many of these hip circles we've done. But I got so excited talking about wiffle ball and kickball, I completely forgot. Hopefully, your hips are feeling good, because we're going to move on into the final move. We're going to do some calf raises. The way you do calf raises looks like this. What I want you to do is open up your legs about hips width apart. Not super narrow, not super wide, about hips width apart. A little bit wider than hips width is perfectly fine, but this is about hips width. Alright? Boom, boom, boom. From here, once you get into a little bit of a squat, I want you to grab your hand support. It could be a stool, it could be another chair, just something to make sure you got something to hold on to for balance, because we'll be leaning real hard. If you want, you can do it this way and face the wall and use the wall for support. Alright? What I want you to do is pop into that squat, lean forward, so that you're starting to get your toes gripping into the ground, clawing, trying to keep you from falling forward. So we're trying to lean forward. Alright? Next, we're going to push our knees forward. I want you to feel a stretch here in your Achilles tendon. I want you to feel some contraction here in your calves because it's getting nice and stretched. And from here, we're ready to begin. I want you to put your hands on your hand support if you need it and get into that calf raise. Lift those heels as high as you can and come on down. And again, and down. Reset. Push those knees forward. Push your chest forward. Make sure your toes are working. And up, and down, and up, and down, and up. And down. You can slow it down if you need to. Up and down and up and down. Hold on to something for balance if you need it. If you're getting tired and you're like, oh no, it's not working, definitely hold on to something for balance. And once your legs are tired, maybe your feet are tired, maybe your calves are tired, maybe your quads are tired, maybe your low back is tired from holding that crazy sorority squat position, and whatever it is, as long as you're able to do 75-80% of that motion, not every part of it has to be totally perfect, chances are your hips, your knees, your ankles, your quads, your glutes, your calves, your tibialis muscles, your feet, they're probably doing pretty good. Alright? That is our life. Suddenly, I lost a lot of energy. Just went, dropped right down. Thank you so much for practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me today. That is our life. We do this every single day, starting at 9 p.m. to practice a little bit of consistency so that we can make some progress together. It is currently 10:05 p.m. Eastern, so that means we started an hour and 5 minutes ago. Cool? That's about how long the live typically takes. It's about an hour and 5. The more I talk, the longer it becomes. I have a couple of times hit like 45, 50-ish minutes, but those days seem to be getting further and further away. At one point, this is an hour and a half, and it's been trimmed down to 105, and now I can't get it much lower because I talk too much. Hopefully, you enjoy the talking because it distracts you, so you got time to rest and relax and go, and you appreciate the break. But it doesn't feel like we're getting much faster than this, alright? Yeah, maybe a little bit on days where I'm in a rush, but most of the time, I'm just tired. Alright, let's see what we're doing. Queen RR says, do you want to try reconnecting the earbuds? Too late. The earbud connecting thing, that's over. She's asking about YouTube because the YouTube audio probably was really bad because I disconnected the earbuds and they weren't working before either. So, I'm sorry YouTube. I'm sure that was not fun at all. But hopefully, you guys are probably regulars and know the show really well. So even with or without audio, you know exactly what we're doing. And hopefully, you're able to keep going. Alright? Is there anything else I need to talk about? I'm trying to train my girlfriend to get her first pull-up. It's been a couple of days since we've done any pull-up training because we have not been at home to do pull-ups. And that is just an excuse. We probably could have done pull-ups somewhere, but I wasn't there because I was at the bachelor party, right? Right. So, if you're interested in watching her journey, get into her first unassisted pull-up, that video is uploaded over on YouTube. The username for YouTube is the same as on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and YouTube. I already said that. It splits on the side. So if you're interested, check that out. We're going to work on that pull-up for a while. We'll probably do like a 30-day update. And we'll probably post little updates throughout. I imagine the update videos throughout on short form on TikTok are not going to get very viral or anything like that. So it's highly unlikely you'll be able to find that video when it does come out. Unless you come to the platform, you just look for a video every once in a while and go, oh, hey, look, it's a thing. And when that video gets posted, I guess I'll just tell you that it gets posted, and you can look for it in shorts, and you can look for it on long form. Because I'll tell you. Anyways, find that first video. Go check it out. If you guys have some time, you want to send some support, I'd really appreciate it if you go check out the YouTube video. I'm trying to hit 4,000 watch hours in the next couple of months. I'm at about 2,500 watch hours. Once you hit 4,000 watch hours, you can get monetized on YouTube, and then I can get a little bit of money made from the regular YouTube ad stuff that happens. That would be really helpful for me, so I'd appreciate it if you went and watched some of the YouTube videos. There are a couple of playlists. If you just hit play on one of the playlists, I'm pretty sure it'll just non-stop keep running. You can like turn your screen off or something and just let it run. You don't actually have to do that, but that might be really helpful. I don't know how YouTube takes just forever running of YouTube videos, and if it's smart enough to go, hey, they're probably not watching. But if you actually want to watch some of the content, I do a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it is around calisthenics. Some of it is more tutorial based and teaching cool moves, cool beginner moves for calisthenics. Some of the original videos was more about consistency and building habits, because that is what sort of started the live series. It was because I needed to build some consistency. And hopefully, that combination of things, consistency and fitness, that message has come through in some way, shape, or form. If you got any questions about that, I'm happy to talk about it. Other than that, go check out the YouTube video, and I'm going to look at the chat and see what we got to know. Chase says, they know when watching, they send me lots of ads, lol. Oh, that's crazy. Well, that's good. So that they'll know that they should help me, let me monetize. Thank you, Che, for bearing through the ads for me. Ugh. Yeah, I wonder, it's got to be like 1% of YouTubers actually have monetized accounts, right? And one of the things that came up recently was they announced that they're going to increase the difficulty to monetize. Right now, the requirement is 10 million short-form views in 90 days, or 4,000 watch hours in 365 days. 4,000 watch hours is a lot of time. And my videos on YouTube, the long-form videos, don't get that many views. So, that's challenging. But the lives on YouTube, those hours accumulate pretty well. We have 3 people on the YouTube live, right? And that means over the course of the last hour, maybe we got 3 hours from that video. 3 hours over 4,000 is still a pretty small amount of the total. So I need some help. Come, I think February 1st, maybe it's March 1st, February 1st, one of those 2 days, they're doubling the number of hours required to hit that goal in 1 year. And I would really not like to have to get 8,000 hours to monetize. So in the next, August? In the next 6 months, in the next half year, I really need to get some hours fast, and I'm letting you know so that you get to support me. Otherwise, it's gonna be really miserable trying to get monetized, and I'm gonna just give up probably. But I mean, not on this thing, but on YouTube. Anyways, where am I going with this? Please watch some YouTube videos. Thank you. I think it's time for me to check out the chat. Ugh. John Maker says, lean, flexible, strong, jealous. Good work. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I like to think that some of the things that I'm decently good at comes from just habits that I have towards food, towards playing around, not even necessarily exercise, but being excited to go hang out and do cool things, so that I'm just excited to move, and that goes a long way. So sometimes just finding a fun outdoorsy hobby where you like do cool stuff, maybe play wiffle ball in a wiffle ball league even, maybe that's all you need to get a lot more lean, a lot stronger, a lot more flexible, because you want to crush everybody else at wiffle ball. I don't know why I'm obsessed with wiffle ball, but wiffle ball is really fun as an adult. And it's extra fun because you can smash the ball as much power as you want, and it won't actually go that far. So like, you don't need an insane amount of space, and you don't have a giant projectile ready to smash other kids in the playground, you know, like flying across the field. So wiffle ball is awesome, and we should have more adult wiffle ball leagues. That's just my statement for the day. John says, like, what do you weigh? What's the heaviest person you can pick up or lift, like in CrossFit or a thing, not in the gym? I don't know. I used to wrestle. If I'm not significantly weaker than when I was 15, then I could probably pick up a 200-pound adult for a couple of seconds, I guess. I don't know. So, I don't lift weights very often, and most of the time is because I don't enjoy going to a gym, because getting to the gym takes a lot of time. So most of the things that I do is more or less calisthenics related, or just finding a way to have fun, or trying really hard at wiffle ball, or trying really hard at kickball, or trying really hard and jumping really high in ultimate frisbee for every single possible throw. And that goes a long way. I'm really sore right now because I did all those things and I can barely move. I'm not a very big person. I'm 130 pounds, probably, maybe 135. I ate a lot of food this weekend. Lots of hot dogs and barbecue. But yeah, that's not a big deal. Whew. Jay says he has done some sumo training. I have done some sumo training. That was one very, very intense hour with maybe like 3 whole minutes of extra intensity. But that is the majority of my sumo experience. It took longer to put on the ceremonial wrap thing than I actually worked. Lifting a 200-pound dude is different from, like, actually I guess I could probably also deadlift 200 pounds, but and it's only for a couple seconds. It's not like I'm lifting them and just walking around for fun. You know, that's a very different amount of strength. I don't have that. But also the hardest thing would probably be like if the person I'm lifting at 200 pounds is kind of tall, it'd probably be like the wobbling around while lifting them that is gonna suck, because every step that you take you get thrown a little bit more off balance. Amelia says protein. I am not a good person to talk to about dieting. That's because I've been maintaining this weight without trying to work on it too hard for probably like 20 years now, maybe 15 years now, and because I don't consciously think about it, because I don't struggle with it, I don't have great advice for somebody who might be struggling with their food intake. So I can tell you what I do, but I don't do those things while feeling like I'm making a sacrifice. So because I didn't struggle with it, I don't feel like I necessarily have the most helpful advice for somebody who is struggling with it. I used to wrestle. Wrestling is a sport that is in weight classes, and it is typically better to be lighter and also stronger than your opponent than to be heavier and have to wrestle against stronger opponents. Generally, there's weight classes because the smaller you are, the less strong you tend to be, and so from like 14 years of age or younger maybe, I've been eating relatively clean most of the time, and most of those habits have mostly stayed with me, and so I don't think about it too much on a daily basis. I don't think about it too much on a most of the time basis. When there's delicious food, when there's dessert, I'm there. I'm 100% for it, and that could be a combination of things that I have going for me. I am carrying a pretty good amount of muscle mass for compared to my total body weight, and that means I have pretty solid caloric needs in a given day. And if I eat a little bit more, it's not so big of a burden on my body. Where am I going with this? Because I haven't gone out of my way to work on this very hard, my interest, my expertise in nutrition is just not that strong. So I don't feel like I want to say things like, oh, just do X, just do Y, just do Z. It's so easy to do it like this because I've never had to struggle with it, and that's just how it's been. Can I actually lift a person that much heavier than me? Wow, you're very interested in this. Yeah, no, I can definitely lift a 200-pound person. Can I lift them for a long time? Probably not. Do I have enough grip strength to hold on to my own hands while I lift them for a long time? Probably not for very long. But no, I can definitely lift a 200-pound person for a couple of seconds. Most of that lifting, when you're not trying to deadlift from the ground, is like this, right? Like you wrap your hands around somebody and you just extend your knees. If you're just lifting somebody 2 inches off the ground for a little bit, that's not nearly as crazy as when you lift weights and you're deadlifting and you're coming down with great form and you're trying to maintain proper posture and do like this whole range of motion. Last time I deadlifted, which at this point is probably almost a year ago, I don't deadlift ever. So this actually it's on Instagram. I think there might be a video somewhere on Instagram from a year ago where I did a couple rounds because I was trying to rehab my back a little bit, and I was like, hey, I'm at the gym, might as well do some deadlifts and see how that goes. I could definitely deadlift over 200 pounds, so I can probably lift a person that's over 200 pounds. I can't imagine I've lost that much strength, even though, I never really trained deadlift to begin with, so I can't imagine that whatever I did or didn't do would have that big of an impact on me over the last year. So I would imagine that, yeah, I could probably still do that. Cool. All right. Enough about that. I'm gonna check. Oh, I can't stand. I'm gonna sit down. That's funny. Thank you for the comments. I appreciate it. For the people over on TikTok, John Maker on YouTube has got some nice compliments about me looking strong. Thank you. Sweet. Amelia sent a thumbs up, and I think that was in regards to my statements towards food. I try to eat more protein. I'm conscious of it. I'm taking note of how much unnecessary sugar is in food, right? I'm not saying that I don't think about it at all, but I don't. Actually, now that I think about it, I do make a lot of decisions based on the nutrition facts label on the back, right? I go, ooh, that has a whole bunch of sugar in it, I should probably avoid it, and then I don't think about it ever again. I just go, yeah, that's probably not something that's very good for me. I love chips. I love chips and salsa. I love Tostitos, hint of lime. I am a big fan of Tostitos, hint of jalapeno as well. And Tostitos chips and all corn chips and tortilla chips have a lot of calories. So
I try not to stock them at home, and I only save them for fun events. That's sort of the extent to which I approach most of the dieting. I go, I love that stuff. Probably shouldn't have too much of those because I know I can in one sitting eat a whole entire bag. I have eaten so much, so many times that the inside of my mouth is like raw from just all the crunchy hardness of the chips and I guess the salt on the chips scratching up the inside of my mouth, and I'll just keep going. So because I know I have absolutely no way of stopping myself once the bag is open. Before the bag is open, if you're telling me I have to save it for an event, I have absolutely no problems. But as soon as that bag is open, it is highly unlikely it's going to survive the day. It's highly unlikely it'll survive the next 3 hours, because that is how I feel about hint of lime chips and most tortilla chips in general. So I know I have a couple of problem foods where I make sure to save those for special events, like the bachelor party. I was in charge of bringing all the snacks. You can bet your butt had a lot of tortilla chips, and I don't know. I haven't really struggled with saying, yeah, I probably should not do that anymore, and then not get chips again for 6 months, 8 months at a time. Most of the time, that's probably because I overdo it so bad that the inside of my mouth hurts, and so my brain gets that stimulation telling me, yeah, that's probably really bad for me. I probably shouldn't do that because my mouth hurts. So I don't know if that's a helpful answer. But in my diet, when I am conscious of protein, I do overnight oats often for breakfast. In the overnight oats, I put in Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt has a really significant amount of protein for the calorie intake. I think a 3/4 cup-ish serving of Greek yogurt has 15, 17, 18 grams of protein. A dollop of that into my overnight oats. Oats have some protein. I like to throw in some peanut butter. Peanut butter is also a pretty solid amount of protein. I think 1 or 2 tablespoons, 7 grams of protein. I'm not going out of my way to go count exactly how many grams of protein I'm having, but I'm expecting somewhere in the 30 to 40-ish grams of protein, and that gets me a really strong start for the day. Then if I have a little bit of protein, just because I have a relatively balanced meal with lots of veggies, a little bit of meat, or some tofu or something like that, or lentils, beans, then that's probably about as much as I really think about it. It's not like, hey, this is the exact meal I need to have for this exact thing, for this exact goal. It's typically a little bit more relaxed than that, and that is because I'm not actively trying to change my body composition very much. And what has been working is still, at the moment, continuing to work. I imagine at some point my metabolism will slow down a little bit, and when that day comes, I'll have to make some adjustments. But for the last 20 years, it's more or less stayed pretty similar, and so I haven't had to think about it too much. So I'm conscious of the ingredients. I'm conscious of what value they have towards me feeling good, and that's about it. I'm not eating to bodybuild. Right, so I'm not trying to eat a lot of calories. I'm not trying to lose weight either, so I'm not trying to intentionally cut calories. And for that reason, I guess when my food isn't absolutely incredible all the time, because I'm the cook, and it's just okay, it's not a problem for me. I think if I were to be spending every single meal eating out and really enjoying my food, that would become a problem for me. But I don't do that, so it isn't a problem for me. So, sometimes some of those issues come from the decisions you have to make when you get your food. If you want delicious tasting food and you want convenience and you order every single meal, it's going to be really hard to portion control. It's going to be really hard to have less. Because salt makes everything taste amazing. Sugar makes everything taste amazing. And restaurants want you to taste everything amazing. But the price is, everything is going to have a lot more fat and a lot more salt to make it taste delicious. That might be not so good for you over an extended period of time, every single day, every single meal. So some people just live that life. And I don't got that kind of money. I'm not spending every meal eating out. So it has never just been a problem for me. And I wonder if some of it happened because when I was in college, there was a moment where I was cooking all of my meals for myself, and I was like, hey, look, vegetables are really inexpensive ingredients, and they're supposed to be good for me, and so I just bought and ate a lot of vegetables. And because I was already an athlete at the time, I was like, oh, look, extra vegetables, fiber is all good for me. And then I just been cooking the same for forever. And because I haven't explored too much more in my cooking, I haven't had to think about it too much. So yeah, I wonder how much of it comes from my absolute lack of excitement towards exploring making food better, and my girlfriend suffering for it because my cooking is fine, but it's not great. It's just fine. And she's probably watching this live in the other room and going, but anyways, I don't need to go on about this. Long story short, however the pieces came together, I am currently and have been for a while in a situation where I don't have to consciously think about food very much. I'm aware of things for the most part, and I am thoughtful when I'm overdoing it in some areas, but I don't spend a lot of time going, this is absolutely what the number I have to hit is, this is what I'm optimizing for. I'm not nearly as precise as some of the more ambitious people on the internet might be. And that has been working out just fine for me. So, because I'm not doing body recomposition, trying to lose weight, trying to gain weight, trying to build muscle necessarily as like my primary goal, it hasn't been so serious for me. While having the basic knowledge for what is kind of nutritious-ish is like. If you have absolutely no idea what is good for you, what quantity of food is too much, like how your blood work is doing, that might be something to get a little bit of intro information into. And things change over time. You actually need to eat more protein as you age because the protein synthesis, making muscle, becomes harder and harder as you age. And when you eat more protein, one of the components of protein signals to your body to also help and make a little bit more protein, but you need more of it as you age. So at some point, I'm going to have to revisit this diet that is just my life, and when that happens, it happens. But at the moment, I got not much to say, and I'm just repeating myself, so I'm going to move on to a new topic. What else we got? How many people are still left? 65 people over on TikTok and 2 on YouTube. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Chase says cooking with Ken. Chase says cooking videos maybe? Amelia says it's all delicious. Monkey says, my God, this is a play-by-play of my life with kettle cooked chips. That's hilarious. Yes, kettle cooked chips are also really hard. Like the crunch is amazing, but they're also like really hard. And I think I just like hint of lime. And even like the other like store brands, the knockoff brands, if it's like hint of lime or something related to it, I can't help myself. I dropped into an Aldi at this point probably a year ago, and I was like, oh look, they have hint of lime kind of chips. They're like $1 for a huge bag. This is incredible. And I immediately bought like 3 of them. It was the first time I'd been to Aldi, and I was like, I wonder what it's like in here. I've heard lots of people talk about this store, and I bought way too many chips. That was not a good week. My mouth was just hurting for days, and I couldn't help myself. Like, because I had the next bag, and I had the bag after that, even though my mouth was still kind of not 100% recovered, I was like, just one more, just a couple more. And then finally I finished all the chips. They weren't as good as Tostitos and Lime, so I had no real need to go buy more. And that was a perfect way to end that chapter of shopping at Aldi. Alright, I'm going to scroll up and see what we got. I have never thought about doing a cooking show. There's this one thing that I do want to do at some point, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen. But I've always wanted to I've kind of mentioned it sort of in, it's probably been a couple months. I've always wanted to do some sort of educational, like, after school program where the goal, the premise is to help younger people. I'm thinking probably elementary school, when kids are still adorable and not middle schoolers when they're like awful human beings. And everybody's needlessly mean because they're trying to figure out how to interact with each other socially. Uh, but I would love to do a combination of two things. That is fitness and fun, right? Trying to make fitness really fun for everybody, so that they all have every child has the fundamental basics of sort of moving better, moving well, and hopefully instilling a culture of gentle movement. So that you don't have to be like an athlete, you don't have to do sports, but you can still choose to move a little bit better or enjoy doing stuff, trying new things, because you're confident that your body is going to do cool things because you've been doing a little bit of training in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be lifting weights and what we typically think of as training. So that'd be cool. And I think there's two other pieces that I'm really interested in, because the goal is partially physical health. Part two would be getting people to cook from an early age. In lots of other communities, when you're like daycare, in Japan, for example, little kids contribute to chopping vegetables and helping with like preparing meals. And I think that would be a really awesome way to get people interested in understanding food, making food, contributing to chores, being responsible for your own food process. And so there's a part of me that wants both those things. Education, probably for like a 10-ish-year-old child, around fitness and movement, around food and nutrition on a basic level. And then there's this other core thing that I call applied empathy. I haven't really talked about it. I don't think I've talked about it at all on a live, but I think fundamentally, wow, I said that word. Fundamentally, there is a couple of really essential skills for people to do well in life. And one of them is empathy, the skill of understanding how other people are feeling, how other people might feel, and being able to use that information to interact, whether it's to support somebody or to use that for something else, right? Applied empathy, I would say, covers a whole bunch of different categories. Negotiations, understanding what somebody else wants, what they're trying to get out of a situation, understanding what you have to offer, how to communicate, find your common ground, do your deal making, is applied empathy, right? You understand what they want. Maybe you need to do some research, maybe you need to do some homework, maybe you need to use some like very specific talking skills to try and trick some people, to reveal some information so that you can understand what they actually want, so that you can negotiate something better. At the end of the day, if we scrub the skill part, it comes down to understanding what other people want, right? Sales, in some capacity, is applied empathy. Marketing is understanding what other people are struggling with and how to sell them that stuff. Empathy in general helps you become a really powerful person in the community, because you can communicate well. Hopefully, communications, there we go, is empathy, right? Like all of these basic human skills that keep the world running in some way, shape, or form, hopefully, if you do it well, is built off of understanding other people and not just pounding your perspective onto other people's faces and go, this must be what you believe and this is by far the best product ever, so therefore buy this thing. That typically, I don't think that works very well. Maybe if you had Apple money, then maybe you can make that happen. But those are the three things that I think I would love to somehow incorporate into some sort of after-school program where we could supplement young people's education. And I'm hoping that that third component will be the skill set that young people will need in our future AI world, where it's the people skills. It's the being enjoyable to be around because you genuinely care about other people and you are supportive of other people, that gets us through whatever that future AR world looks like. And Roblox. Anyways, I've been rambling. I've been talking too much. If you guys are interested in more fitness basic education, food related basic stuff, and applied empathy, I haven't fleshed that one out. I can't say I fleshed any of the three out, but particularly the applied empathy I have not fleshed out. If you're interested, we can talk about that in the future on some other time. Cool? Alright. I'm going to scroll back down. Zay says, I enjoy this TED Talk. Amazing. Good. Amelia says, you do what makes you happy. I would like to. I think, hopefully, this is the first step to build enough of a reputation that I can leverage it into other opportunities. So, thank you for the support, Amelia, and Che, and Zay, who's enjoying the TED Talk. Amelia says, that's a good idea. I can learn as a beginner in gentle movements. Absolutely. Zay says, you are helping me fall in love with yoga again. Amazing. That's awesome. I think a lot of people, when they get into yoga, are a little put off by the spiritual aspects of it and the meditation aspects of it, and are trying to look for like a physical experience. I think some people are really into the spiritual side of yoga and the chakras and the what some people might call the more woo-woo stuff, right? I'm all for whatever you want to believe, as long as you get some movement and you follow some way of trying to move a little bit better, getting a little bit more comfortable in whatever positions you gotta be in. Yoga exists to support meditation, right? Like, yoga was created so that somebody could be comfortable enough sitting there for long hours and doing their meditations. And as you all know, we all sit for a long time these days. So yoga is absolutely great for helping you get into crazy positions, having aspirational goals to try and get into, folding forward, doing crazy looking things, but also knowing that your body, for most people, unless you've been super injured, you're probably capable of getting a lot more flexible and folding a lot more and getting a lot more bendy, and that's just how it goes. So I like yoga. My best friend's mom is a yoga instructor, and I was not super into yoga when I was 18, because I was like, oh no, I'm a wrestler, I don't do yoga. like most teenage boys. And I have a real appreciation for yoga because she teaches this like incredibly gentle, calming class, and I hope to occasionally take some of those vibes and bring them out here for these types of moments where I don't have to be super energetic. So I love yoga, and I'm glad that I'm somehow helping you appreciate yoga too. Awesome. All right. I think we're going. Oh wow, it's 10:40. All right, I should probably wrap up soon. Amelia says, I like the meditation part. I can lie down the whole day. Amazing. Yes, you can absolutely lie down the whole day if you're meditating. That's fine. But remember, the yoga part is to help prepare the body so that you lie down for the whole day. So, when you do lie down for the whole day, add in the yoga and do a little bit of something to help prepare your body after you do all the lying and then before you do all the lying. Lying down, not lying as telling lies. That's, in case that wasn't obvious for somebody who just popped in and go, yes, keep lying. Lie all the time. That's not what I'm saying, all right? That's not what I'm saying. Don't misunderstand. All right. What else we got? Zay says, this is amazing. I enjoyed being here today. It's my first time in your life, and I just now found amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, I should really scroll back more when conversations start. I scroll up from the bottom of the chat to the top when I'm reading them, and obviously this frequently backfires because I go, oh, cool. Welcome, Zay. Thank you for being here. I hope you had fun. I try to make at least the ending relatively personable and enjoyable, so that it's not just exercise, stretch. But today has been a particularly talkative one, and Maybe that's good, maybe that's not. Seemed like it helped for you. So awesome! What else we got? Somebody with a really hard username with the croissant for a logo. No, that's an emoji. I can't see. And Mafoso sends lots of crying emojis. And immediately says lol. I don't know what I said, but I hope it was funny. I hope it was hilarious. I'm gonna scroll up real quick and see where we're going with this. Ms. Universe says, I struggle with consistency big time. So does everybody. Everybody struggles with consistency. Consistency is hard because it's, how do I say this? Oftentimes, there's a lot of delayed gratification, right? Delayed gratification is already hard to begin with. And then consistency is like, hey, there might not be any rewards for your doing this thing for a while, but just keep going. Please keep going. It is really hard to stay consistent with things, especially when you need to invest a long period of time to see results. So, I understand you. I get you. I completely understand. The fact that this show exists is because consistency is hard. I have wanted to do the Side Splits for 17 years now. When I first started the live, I used to say 15 years. But now it's been a while. It's now 17 years. Ah, man, that's crazy. Okay, anyways. So, because I've wanted to do it for a long time, and because I couldn't ever stay consistent with them, I was like, this time around, I'm going to change up the way I approach this thing and build the way that I'm practicing consistency into something that I can hopefully have a little bit better luck getting done. And that's how this show basically started. I decided if I invited other people to join in, that would be helpful. You know, I didn't say that outright in the beginning because I wasn't sure anybody would find the live, because it was my first time really using social media for anything, or you know, publicly for anything, for not just my close friends. And partially, I was like, I'm going to create some content on the side to have my own digital proof version. If I needed to write things down, put it into a spreadsheet every time I did a workout, I'd be really bad at it. But I don't know, somehow making a video is easier. That can't be a normal thing. It's gotta be a weird thing. So that might not work for you, but it worked for me. And the other thing was, this show, this live, the workout that we used to do started a lot easier at one point. It used to be like 20-ish minutes. And the goal was to just get it done, have some fun, make it entertaining, so that we could get it done, get out, and have checked off the little box that we did, and focus more on the process than on the outcome and the goal. Because what I needed was consistency. And at some point, enough people started joining in that the show started shifting. We started being a little bit more focused on actually getting results from the stretching, so that you had a little bit of reward alongside the consistency. Because when you do too little, you're also not going to get that many results that fast. If you do too much, you'll also not get that many results that fast, because you'll have overdone it and your body needs time to recover. Somewhere in the middle, which is a pretty big middle, when you do a little bit more, sometimes you get a little bit more out of it. And hopefully you just don't get to the point where you put in more and you get less out of it. Diminishing returns, but beyond diminishing returns, you start injuring yourself, you start getting hurt, you start getting really, really exhausted, and you don't want to be part of, you know, the workout. So the show is kind of been slowly changing over time so that we could balance showing up consistently, doing a similar workout so that we're actually consistently working on the same muscles, so that we have the focus on the things that we're trying to do, side splits and hip mobility, and trying to build the whole thing around staying consistent. This thing exists because staying consistent is really hard. If it was really easy, then nobody would need this show, right? Be like, oh, why would anybody want that? So that's why we're here. It's hard. It is hard. And hopefully this show can help you with that a little bit. I'm done with that topic. Let's move on. Charat says, I can help. I will play your videos while I work. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep scrolling. Book says, see you tomorrow. Probably implies that book is already gone. Melissa says, I would have already fallen on my face. Hey, that's okay. That's how it goes, right? Everybody has to build up. If you were 6 months old trying to figure out how to walk, and then I told you to do calf raises, you probably also would have fallen on your face, right? I'm not saying that you need to be comparing yourself to a toddler that hasn't learned how to walk yet. That kind of doesn't sound very pleasant now that I've said it out loud and acknowledged it. But my point is, we all got to start somewhere, and where that somewhere is, I want to be as inclusive as possible. Sometimes, because I am a relatively younger person who's been relatively fit for a very long time, I forget. And when I forget, when I don't give you options to make it a little bit easier, make it more doable for you, just let me know. Because I would love to make it more doable for everybody. Because at the end of the day, movement is important for everybody. When you get your muscles to do things, when you challenge your bones to be strong, when you do things that are challenging, when you get your whole body slowly working in the right direction, becoming better at stuff, right? When you're learning new skills, your brain is working real hard trying to figure it out. That's good for you. When you are actually physically doing demanding things, demanding relative to you, right? Not just demanding, oh, I don't run a marathon or I don't run a 5K, so it's not demanding. No, just demanding to you. Your body changes and adapts to that. So when you're trying things where you might fall on your face, that is a demanding thing. That is a challenging thing for you. And that's the direction that you want to be moving. You want to be trying to get as strong as you can, as fast as you can, as mobile as you can, as skilled at balancing as you can, and maintain that for as long as possible, right? Malky says, these calf raises saved my new TV earlier. I stopped from falling forward in this exact pose. Oh, amazing. That's so cool. I never thought anybody would be falling like this, but I'm glad that your toes and your calf raises have been preparing you for staying balanced in this exact position. I guess that is the goal. The goal is to challenge all your muscles to contribute all at the same time and get really tired as fast as possible all in one go. So I'm glad that worked out for you. Amazing. Amazing. Kay shared the live. Kay shared the live like 15 times. Thank you, Kay. I appreciate it. Yatarati says, how hard were you partying? We weren't even partying that hard. It was just outdoor sports. Most of us don't spend any time sprinting, right? Like we are just sitting here, maybe doing some walking, doing some light jogging. When you start playing ultimate frisbee, jumping as high as you can to get frisbees. Well, I jump as high as I can because I have a lot of friends who are a lot taller than me, right? Like I've got a lot of people in my life that are like over 6 feet tall. So when they extend their arms, they're like 7 feet tall, like and I gotta jump like a whole extra foot into the air in order to snag something out of their hands. So when we play games that require competitively being really tall, essentially, like ultimate frisbee, I spend a lot of time jumping up and down. So my legs are really tired for that. Being not a very big person, one of my advantages is I'm typically a little bit more agile, a little bit faster than the people I play sports against. So instead of trying to compete on pure strength or brute, force ramming into people, I tend to dash around a lot. My legs are really tired from dashing around a lot, sprinting, changing direction, trying to stop people from being able to throw frisbees, or to sprint to go catch a wiffle ball, or to sprint to go catch a kickball, or something along those lines. We also went tubing in a river, and this river, the water was moving so slow that the local lady who was the parking clerk person told us that there have been people who've been on the river for 10 hours because it was going so slow. Regularly, what's a 3-hour float down the river started taking 10 hours. And what we decided to do was since the water was going so slow, we'll walk through the river and we'll walk our floats up like a mile, and then we'll just sit down and then come that little tiny distance, and then we'll be done. One thing that happens when you walk through water in the reverse direction, or walk through water at all for a prolonged period of time, is your foot gets dragged, and you're kind of stomping into low water a lot. And now my front of my leg muscles are really, 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 really tired and really sore, and that is something that I don't ever do, right? There's just no chance I would be in a situation in regular life where I get this muscle right here working that hard for as long as we were walking through a river with mossy rocks and slipping all over the place and just suffering through the. I don't know who decided this was a good idea, but I'm a good sport, so I participate. All right, and then I don't know, just I guess when I feel like as I've gotten older, there's less and less opportunity to be more aggressive in team sports and like playing games. I am the type of person who will dive for catches, who will roll around, slide around, and I got a little scraped up on my legs, bang up my hips a bunch of times to go catch the ball, to land a save or whatever it is. And now my body is letting me know I have not been doing that for a while, and it's it's letting me know that it's a beating. I'm tired. Okay. I don't even know if you guys are still on. There's still a handful of people on, 13 people. Alright, I need to wrap up. It's late. Let's get ready to get out of here. Zay says good night, and have nights. Till next time. Thank you, Zay. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. We're ready to wrap. It's time. Peace out. Whoa! Wow, we're running. It's 22:52. Okay, it's time to go. I gotta go. Goodbye. See you soon. Hit follow, hit subscribe. There's not that many of you left anyway. Bye.